Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, sir. I must thank the organizers to give me this opportunity to make a small presentation before you. Although my presentation is more on the focus on the technology, and since the topic is for security and disaster management, so I thought the importance of geospatial data in the for security forces, who are the key elements or the first wave of people who reach the disaster management site, and also the relevant issues pertaining to that. So, just to begin, we must have a vision for geospatial data. Now, over a period of time, although geospatial data has been in use since the ancient times, it has to be recast, taking into account the modern technological developments. So integration of the spatial data and visualization are vital for infrastructure development and management. Earlier, the maps were the basic tools for planning, but computing and information technologies have brought a revolutionary change in the depiction, integration, visualization, and analysis of spatial data. And with this morning also we heard about the 3D GIS of Delhi, so that is what we are looking forward. The 3D presentation of the real world using the high resolution images in combination with maps. So the geospatial application should address all issues relating to location of information, and the geospatial information presented with geospatial georeferencing, it helps better and faster decision making. Vice versa, the textual information. Now, these are the motivations why we should go for better kind of geospatial data. The intelligence information from images provide visual clarity in mission critical situation, and the images can be gathered from various sources. It could be from the space platform, from aerial platforms, or your UAV platforms, or a terrestrial platform. It can be all integrated together. And integrating is also very simple these days, since very powerful GIS tools, image processing tools, and other communication tools are available. For sharing this information, also morning, the gentleman from the Delhi government, he talked about the communication, the improvement in the communication technology. So the improved bandwidth and high-speed processor and data storage capacity have enabled fusion of military and intelligence inputs on real time, so that a common situation picture, or in military terminology we call the common operational picture, is possible to be seen by all the managers or commanders working at different places in different levels. So with that background, so convergence of images and maps for workable information, a new science has emerged, which is called the geospatial intelligence or geointelligence. So this is what it happens. The maps and imagery, it gets transformed into workable intelligence. But to make it really workable, you need to integrate the other informations like your meteorological information, your geological information, your all kind of informations together, and you integrate together. Then only the information is really workable. This is one of the snapshots which I have taken from one of the journals which was published by GIS Development, which talks about the possibility of integrating images taken from different sensors, and particularly the utility of hyperspectral and multispectral sensors to see the inside of a building. So this particular, when you visualize a situation of the situation like Mumbai terrorist attack, to identify the location of the terrorist is so critical and important, and this is what is very possible with the advancement of technology. After stressing upon the importance of geospatial data, we must ask ourselves, where are we today? Although mapping in India, it started in 1767 by Clive Lloyd, and we know that Survey of India is the oldest scientific department which started building the geospatial database in India. But so far, our geospatial database is restricted to the 50,000 scale and 25,000 scale, and from which we get the 250,000 data by generalization. Now, and the large scale data for selected areas have been collected as part of the cantonment survey or project survey or utility mapping surveys. And no more we are only depending on a paper map. We have upgraded to the digital terrain elevation data, the orthorectified image maps, the geo-referenced UAV imagery for better interpretation, and the 3D products like fly-through, perspective viewing, then the space maps, the satellite imagery is overlaid with vector data and image, and there are many other exciting products which are being generated today. But however, I give stress on this particular information that it has to be properly georeferenced, because worldwide there are so many reference frameworks, and most of the people, they got confused. They take data from one particular reference framework and they try to integrate with a different type of a reference framework. Then the same location, you may be saying same latitude and longitude, but the actual location on the earth will be different. So we need to be very careful about that. So we need to have a common reference framework for our kind of a data. So that is why earlier we are having the new national map policy came up because of that particular problem, and many other issues, of course. That was one of the factors. And in the national map policy, they talked about the maps on a global reference framework, which is loosely called the WGS 84 datum, or World Geodetic System 1984 epoch, that particular datum. And then they talked about the open series maps for public as a unclassified information, and defense series maps for classified information for the security forces and to meet the security requirements. The main advantage of that is now we have got data which can be better utilized, and the accuracy of the data is expected to be better. Then we have geospatial data which can be integrated with data collected from various sources, and these are the key inputs for our disaster management and for our security forces in counterinsurgency, counterterrorism operations, and many other applications. Now, with the advancement of technology, the space technology has seen a lot of changes. Every day, high-resolution images are being launched by various satellite agencies, both Indian as well as the foreign. So commonly we say that you need basically 2 pixels to identify a road and 4 pixels to identify a house. It's roughly to understand that what is our minimum resolution requirement for a satellite data. But we need to also understand the relationship between a satellite data and a map data. So far, earlier we have been mostly talking in terms of a map. Now we are talking also in terms of a satellite imagery. But if you really see, the relationship is a resolution of about 25 meter, a 50,000 scale has got a precision of about 25 meters, and its accuracy of detection is 50 meter. And the same can be detected, in resolution time, you can easily convert from a satellite perspective. So a 5.8 meter resolution satellite imagery can be utilized in generating a 50,000 scale map. But when we are looking for higher and higher resolution scale maps, so naturally we need higher and higher resolution satellite imageries. So these are the advancement of technology as far as the imaging is concerned, and how this is being utilized for generating ortho products, generating the digital terrain elevation data. And these all are getting integrated. That is the most important thing. So there is the processing technology has also advanced in the recent years. we have got the high-speed computers, then we have got the good processing softwares. And putting together, if you've got the right kind of a data input, then you can have a good terrain visualization in a GIS environment. So this is, now there is a need for high resolution. This images depicts how a better resolution image is good. So one need not have to explain that. But better resolution is good for interpretation. When we are doing measurements, there are many other factors which are related to that. This is another snapshot which I have taken, and I am using this particular thing in my car. Now you have got high resolution data, so you have got location based devices. So they are using the high resolution data, and which is very useful, and it has got many applications. Personal applications, your institutional applications, and also it meets many other security requirements. Now this is some of the GIS applications also are supporting this kind of applications, like in corridor analysis, trafficability analysis, 3D thread analysis, and point analysis. So I'm trying to depict all through visually so that I don't have to explain in detail. This is another application of large-scale ortho image, and particularly with the advancement of digital camera, we have got, and that also when you can do imaging using multiple channels and put together, you can, those particularly in cities where you have got high-rise buildings, you can easily collect data even at places where earlier it was not possible because although it was dead spots or blind spots. And you can also easily pick up the heights of the buildings, which is very critical. Earlier, the heights of the building and other things were not so important because mostly the data was, the buildings were restricted to 1 or 2 stories. The same data, and particularly we all are aware about the minefields which is laid by our security forces. But once we lay down, we do some mapping, and then the mapping is really not very exact. So later on, when you have to demine that area, the problem is how to identify where I had put the mine or where I had laid the mine. So the most critical is in geospatial technology. It gives you these days, it facilitates in accurate mapping of the minefields. The high resolution digital elevation model is very critical in terrain analysis and particularly in line of sight and visibility analysis and kind of things, which is very important in disaster management and for other security related operations. These are some of the another snapshots how it is being used for your operational planning, where you can, in overlays, you can create your own overlays and do all your planning. And I talked about initially turning maps and images into intelligence, and this is how you can create a hybrid map for your intelligence analysis. The UAVs are very popular these days. So we collect a lot of images from the UAV, and these data has got one basic problem, that the UAV images are at the time of collection are not georeferenced. But nowadays the better software tools are available in which subsequently you can get it duly georeferenced, and it facilitates you the measurement. Initial stages it was basically used for interpretation. So some of the other applications in change detection, then for intelligence, network analysis, and op logistic management. These are some of the applications. Then the new technology like LiDAR and digital camera, you can, using in combination, you can create the bare earth model, and also it gives you a high resolution digital elevation model as accurate as 15 centimeter. These are some of the applications of digital camera and LiDAR put together, and it has got immense utility in this particular type of work. These are some of those applications. Using multiple sensors. from different platform, you can identify